Yeah, the whole world is under pressure, but there are solutions. Again, I am just finished writing my second book, all called Unshakable Confidence, but a big part of it is my real method. Well, respect yourself is kind of the new thing instead of respect your reflection. Embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits. And I think that pressure piece, if we want to live without limits, we have to understand what is good pressure and what is bad pressure.
Welcome to Her Unshakable Confidence with dynamic mother-daughter duo Simone and Olivia Canego, where they discuss the secrets of transformation and how to build bold confidence and unwavering resilience. From intimate conversations with inspiring guests to sharing their personal journeys of triumph and challenge, Simone and Olivia create a supportive space where every woman is encouraged to rise above her fears and love the woman in the mirror. Tune into Her Unshakable Confidence and join this special journey of connection and growth. It's like catching up with old friends who inspire you to be bravely and uniquely you.
Welcome to this week's episode of Her Unshakable Confidence. I'm Simone Canego.
And I'm Olivia Canego.
And I'm feeling a lot of pressure.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is like a constant state of being.
Dude, yeah.
So I thought, let's talk about pressure and let's talk about there is good pressure. There is. But then there's this overwhelming pressure.
Yeah, good pressure at a massage when they're rubbing all the knots out of your back. That's good pressure.
Well, okay. So
pressure cookers, that's good pressure. Pressure to do well in school, horrible pressure. Hate it.
Okay, but
can you tell that we started talking about midterms today in class?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I guess that's why,
I'm very anti-pressure right now because I'm feeling it from all aspects of life. This is a weird transition because being a grad student is like, like you're dipping your toes into being an adult way more than you were an undergrad, but you also still have like the same, honestly, way harder of a workload. And I know like real adults have work and stuff, but law school's insane. Yeah. But yeah. But do you have to go home and do like 100 pages of reading a night? No,
but a lot of people still have a lot of work to do when they get home.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you have kids and then you have all this, it just doesn't stop. Like, right? I mean, I told you adulting, but let me ask you a question. So what do you think of the statement, pressure is a privilege? So let me take a step back and tell you where that came from. So, Billie Jean King, tennis player. So it's actually,
I watched Challengers.
Okay.
She wasn't in that. That wasn't at all about, it was about tennis. That's the only exposure to tennis I have, guys.
I was going to say
very limited, very limited
to do with it. So when players walk out into the Arthur Ashe Stadium at the US Open, they are greeted by an iconic quote from the American legend Billie Jean King, pressure is a privilege. And I was trying to like look at this.
Okay. Yeah. A pressure is a privilege in certain circumstances, and maybe it is overall. I just think maybe then the idea of pressure needs to have a more limited definition. Once again, as you can see, legal brain is on right now, super analytical, etc. But I mean, it is I guess in that context, it's like it's a privilege to even be playing on that court. The pressure that you feel right now, like, could you even imagine 10 years ago, you even being at this point, that you then would have been so grateful to even be where you are?
100%. So, but here's the interesting history behind this. How it even came out of her mouth was, so here's what she said. She says, we were in Las Vegas. Lindsay Davenport walks up to me and she's not happy, King explained. She looks down at me because she's 6'3". And I'm looking up at her and she goes, just say something. And I went, pressure is a privilege and champions adjust. It just came out of my mouth like that. I never thought of it, but I loved it. So, okay. So I think that in certain regards, yes, I agree that pressure is a privilege, right? When we get to these moments in time, but pressure becomes too much when we take on everybody else's pressure as well.
Yeah.
Right? So
that's a great way of saying what I was trying to say, Mom.
You're welcome. I'm here for you. But really, like when you think about when I'm going through my things and then I'm putting them on you, like they're your things too, then it becomes really overwhelming. I think about that a lot of times with you guys, that sometimes we probably tell you more than we should tell you. And that's got to add way too much pressure, right? I mean,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, absolutely.
so
I have a very weird state. I think that, speaking positively about myself, my ADHD gives me the ability to not focus on things unless they're directly in front of me. So I think to like the normal kid, what you say to them would really stress them out. But since I'm like not genuinely in the moment experiencing that, it doesn't stress me out that bad.
yeah, it just makes me think about it, and hopefully it
But
makes you think about it too.
yeah,
And that sometimes we put what we put so much of what we're struggling with on other people, that it puts so much pressure on them. Or for example, deadlines, right? When you work at a business and you have a specific role, when you all of a sudden decide that you're going to ask the person that works for you to now take on all this additional work, that's way too much pressure. That's not their
mm-hmm,
job, right? So I think that we need to think about it like that sometimes, that we really need to think about what is pressure, and what amount of pressure is acceptable, because I would say that there is an acceptable amount of pressure. Pressure keeps us going. The things, like if we weren't nervous about something or felt like we needed to get something done, probably nothing would ever get done. So
mm-hmm.
there is an acceptable amount. It's just when it gets kind of out of control, which can happen really easily. And I would say the majority of people that you talk to are really struggling under pressure.
Yes.
Yes. And the way we talk about ourselves, I mean, again, it goes back to when we talk about self-respect, right? It is setting boundaries and really thinking about how we think about ourselves inside our heads, what we say about ourselves to ourselves, what we say about ourselves when we're talking to other people. All of those things add an enormous amount of pressure unless we're keeping it in the realm of, you know, we're doing good things. Take
Mm-hmm.
a step back. You've got this, right? I am incredible. I am getting the work done, but we have to give ourselves, some grace there to be able to do that. Are you still with me?
I'm still with you. I'm just trying to think of a thought, I guess. Pressure is really hard, especially because it feels uncontrollable.
Mm.
Um, it's kind of one of those anxieties, to differentiate all of the above, that is truly, in my opinion, not something that you put on yourself. Yes, you put on pressure to always be the best version of yourself, to like strive, or whatever you end up being. But I think the really hard pressure to balance is the external pressures.
Mm.
Um, and I mean, they come in so many shapes and forms, whether that's like directly through the people around you telling you what they want from you and how they expect you to succeed, or just like the general societal pressure to be how a person wants.
Yeah, but I think internal pressure can be just as bad, because when we just start doing our freakouts, right? And then we're like, oh my gosh, you got to get this done right now. Oh, you have 17 things that you haven't gotten done. What did you tell me that you were just stressed about?
Oh, my to-do list that I
Yeah.
didn't get completely done, even though I had like 2 things left on it. And I was mad at myself because I felt like I did nothing over the weekend. I got like 9 out of my 11 things on my list done, but that still wasn't
Enough, because you're putting yourself under
yeah.
pressure, right?
I mean, yeah, but there's also, pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah, so they
Like that's
say.
the saying about pressure. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, it does. Carbon
Yeah.
pressure. Okay, like
I know. I don't mean so they say. I
I was
just
about to
mean
say,
I
like
meant like
scientifically they do. Okay.
I meant like in reference to a human. Like
Um.
if I think there's like a point of no return kind of thing
Yeah,
when
I
you're
feel
under
like
so
it's like
much pressure.
maybe or like you
I
get
don't
to a
know.
point where you can't get any
What's
better.
the mathematical
Yeah, like I
term?
don't,
I don't know.
girl. Yeah, today. Oh my god. Speaking of side note on math, the girl next to me, we literally had like a 5-minute giggle session today in class because as law students we were able to divide like 8 by 5 or something like that and figure out the correct thing, and we were both like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that pressure though can I don't like the idea that pressure can make diamonds, because you like pressure can always cause them to break as well. So there's like a certain balance, you know. I actually don't
Yeah.
know if that's true. Maybe diamonds can't be broken. Like I actually do. I don't know, but I feel like after a certain point they probably can
Well,
be.
diamonds can break other things. I think you could probably really break them
Yeah,
if you
yeah, but
needed
like
to.
the
I
the
don't know.
metaphor being there,
Yeah.
like a certain amount of pressure keeps you going, it keeps you active, it keeps you wanting to strive for more, it keeps you on your toes and not too, comfortable in a way that limits you. But too much pressure is so overwhelming to the point that you can't do anything.
Yeah. Think about a pressure cooker too, right? You
Oh,
stick
love
all
those.
these ingredients in
So
and it
scary
gets it
though.
done. Oh, yeah, it's scary.
That's a real metaphor for pressure right there. Pressure
Yeah.
cookers.
Yeah. Got to make sure that you don't open it too fast or.
Yeah. And like actually metaphor though, like if you like pressure can make things get done faster, but it can also cause like serious injury.
Yeah, that's really good. It's true. But I think we do put way too much pressure on ourselves, right? And that internal pressure, internal and external, right? I mean, thinking that we have to do all these things for other people. I mean, I started my day this morning with a message from your sister that was super stressful, a message from you that was super stressful. And then
That's
I'm
fair.
thinking, like,
I'll acknowledge that.
thank you. And I'm like, why am I internalizing this, right? Like, how can I help? That's all I can do. Like, I can't feel bad about myself. It's not about me.
No.
And I can't take that in and say, I can't fix it. So therefore I failed. Like, that's pressure, right? That's just like, so instead it was like, okay, what can I do in the moment to help? I can say encouraging words because that's my love language. And that's about it because your sister's halfway across the world. Sorry. And I mean, you said your one comment and then you moved on. So I figure like you're going to class, like
Oh yeah, it was an
you
early
got it.
morning. You know when I woke up, it was a bad morning because I woke up at 6:20 to go to the bathroom. My alarm goes off at 7.
That's the worst.
Oh yeah, I was just it's like literally probably no worse feeling than that. That was my worst feeling of the day, and I sat through 2 very long classes.
I will say that actually makes me angry. But like now I don't sleep at all, so it doesn't really matter. But I used to be such a good sleeper, and then I would wake up like 30 minutes before my alarm, or even 10 minutes before my alarm, and it would like start off my day in such a negative way
Horrible,
that
but
it's like hard to recover. But you got to recover
absolute,
from it.
yeah,
Be grateful that you got that much sleep.
yeah.
Turn it around,
I
Charlie
just,
Brown.
sometimes I say whack things in the morning, and then I'm like, you just need to calm down, bro. Eat something. Take your meds. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do look around and I think, everything that's happening in the world right now, there's just so much pressure. There really is.
There's
And
it's so much pressure, especially as a young person, to fit a specific mold.
mm,
And like there's so many different molds out there. I don't even want to comment on that. But it's the idea of it's so hard to find a community right now without like sacrificing part of your belief system to fit into that belief system of the community with all of the just the world's crazy right now. It's just the easiest way to fit that. And I get the whole idea that people want to be friends with others like them, but it's just kind of become very isolating. And not a place in the world that I would want to be in.
yeah, I really more and more want to be friends with people that aren't so much like me, right? Because if we're all just saying the same thing to each other all the time, it's not very much of a stimulating intellectual conversation.
Yeah,
But it's
that.
comfortable. It's comfortable, right?
Um when like a real world example of that is like if I only talk to my classmates about our interpretations of what it is, it could get diluted to the point that that's not even what the professor meant by it. Like you need to have these outside opinions and to really kind of formulate your opinion, your point of view, and like your opinion on the matter, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think that again, we get so caught up in everything else. Like we forget what we need. We forget what we want, or we don't even ask ourselves what we want. We just say, oh, this is what we have to do. This is what we're supposed to do. Um, no, that's not how it
Hmm.
works. Certain things you have to do. I mean, if you want to pass your class in law school, you got to do your homework. You got to do the readings. But You don't have to do someone else's test for them. No. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think it's really important to recognize your own bandwidth and what you're capable of picking up and taking on, and, learning to say no.
That's a huge piece of it, is that I think for years that was me. I would say yes to everything. And it was, I didn't want to do half the things, but I was saying yes anyways. And then there was this sense of guilt. So you have to learn to say no without guilt, because you got to take care of yourself first, right? And if you're not doing that, then everything else just is going to be miserable.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So we decided to try something new this week and do a much shorter episode. So that's it, guys. Like, we just wanted to talk about pressure and the pressures we're feeling right now, and the pressures that people are, the whole world is under pressure, but there are solutions. Again, I am just finished writing my second book, all called Unshakable Confidence, but a big part of it is my real message, which is respect yourself is kind of the new thing, instead of respect your reflection. Embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits. And I think that pressure piece, if we want to live without limits, we have to understand what is good pressure and what is bad pressure. Do you have your calendar with you?
I do.
Tell me.
It's not what you're up against that has you by the throat, but rather what you say about what you're up against that's fucking you over.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty real, right?
Yep.
We're all up against things all the time. It's how we respond to them, what we say about them, what we say about ourselves not being capable of doing things. Put that all aside. Love the woman in the mirror, guys. Thank you for joining us on this week's short episode of Her Unshakable Confidence. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Always remember, you are unshakable.
Thank you for listening to Her Unshakable Confidence with Simone and Olivia Canego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Simone Canego and at Olivia Canego. Till next time.